raising legitimate concerns about thousands and thousands of unchecked foreign males illegally entering our country makes me far right, then so be it.
Okay, what's this? Exposed secret government spy unit silencing migrant hotel social media posts in shocking report. Let's see.
Good evening. A slight change to the planned top of this hour. I want to bring you this breaking news that's emerging in the Daily Telegraph. A secretive Whitehall spy unit has been used by the government to target social media posts criticising migrant hotels and two-tier policing. The Telegraph is revealing that officials working for Peter Kyle, who was the technology secretary, he's been in the news a bit this week, hasn't he, have flagged videos with posts concern.
You remember Peter Kyle, this guy?
You know, we have people out there who are extreme pornographers, peddling hate, peddling violence. Nigel Farage is on their side. Make no mistake about it, if people like Jimmy Savile were alive today, he'll be perpetrating his crimes online. And Nigel Farage is saying that he's on their side.
Yeah, that guy. The one that was telling you that you needed to protect the children by accepting censorship. Political censorship. To protect the children. Oh, and if you disagree, you love Jimmy Savile. Yeah, I remember that guy.
Concerning narratives to social media giants, including TikTok, warning that they are exacerbating tensions on the streets. Apparently, this same unit, which has now been renamed, was being used during COVID to clamp down on people who might have been putting out so-called anti-vax or anti-lockdown.
So it's the anti-free speech unit. The government has an anti-free speech unit. Wow. Wow. Mask off. Mask off. The government is not your friend.
Down messaging. This is a huge revelation here. It's a huge revelation. It's something that I think a head might roll over.
Someone needs to be arrested. Someone needs to be arrested. This can't be legal.
People cannot feel as though the government...
Yeah, let me find out. So, critics, including free speech groups and politicians, argue this suppresses lawful debate and could violate Article 10 of the European Convention of Human Rights. That same thing that they use to stop us deporting criminals and rapists. Well, we could use it against them. However, as of August the 1st, 2025, we should just leave that, by the way, and then the problem will be solved anyway. So just leave the ECHR. No court official or official inquiry has ruled that the unit's activities are illegal. So in other words, the courts that the government pretty much runs and owns have declared that it's not illegal, or haven't declared that it's illegal. I suppose there's a technical detail somewhere there. And the government defends them as lawful under the Online Safety Act 2023. So they created a bill or an act that would allow them that would allow the loophole to claim innocence. Amazing. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Is hugely clamping down on what they say about the biggest issue facing Britain at the moment, illegal immigration and legal immigration. They cannot clamp down on that. And this revelation is going to be deeply, deeply uncomfortable for Labour and frankly play into the narrative that there is a Stasi out there that is stopping your tweets. And can I just say as well one thing on this? One thing that I've been doing recently on this show, of course, is revealing how easy it is for human traffickers to operate on social media. I just wonder whether or not Peter Kyle might be best served trying to come up with a crack team to stop human traffickers operating freely about how and advertising how to break into Britain, as opposed...
Well, you know, that's if they wanted to stop them coming. That's the problem. No one's addressing the elephant in the room. What if they actually want them to keep coming? What if they do want them here? Then we're fucked. I wish people would start addressing the obvious. If people are doing something repeatedly, it doesn't matter what they claim. If they keep doing the same thing, then you're going to have to eventually assume that they're trying. You're going to have to assume that they want the results of doing that action. Otherwise, why would they keep doing it?
Opposed to maybe someone called Sandra who lives in Stoke who's got a problem with the local migrant hotel and decided to make a TikTok video about it. But we've got more on that story later on. It's a huge story. We'll have more detail for it later on. Welcome back. Let's have a first look at these front pages, shall we? The Sun, Hammer Gang's gem raid on Harry. It's Harry Redknapp and his wife Sandra.
No. Let's get back to it. Oh, Wait, what? Hammers gangs gem raid on thieves smash down front door. Oh, they've started going after the rich. That's going to stir shit up. That's all I've got to say on that.
Care about Labour bid to silence migrant hotel critics. I think it's hard to overstate how serious this story is. A secretive Whitehall spy unit has been used by the government to target social media posts criticising migrant hotels and two-tier policing. Emails recovered by a US congressional committee show civil servants have complained to tech firms about content monitoring asylum seekers, immigration and two-tier policing. The dossier has emerged as ministers battle claims that the UK is censoring social media with the Online Safety Act. And it turns out, shock horror, that they've basically been using a pseudo-Stasi in order to do that. And who's behind part of this, or at least involved?
The British, of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and, by extension, American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time.
What's your advice on this law?
To free speech today.
Well, free speech is very important. I don't know if you're referring to any place in particular. Perhaps they are, but
we've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud of that.
Well, you've got Peter Kyle. It's the same man who was out in force on the media earlier this week, alluding to the idea that people might be on the same side as paedophiles if they dared to criticise the Online Safety Act.
When you realise what they're doing, it becomes so blatantly obvious that it makes me laugh. Because it's like a magician, and you've found out how his magic trick works, and then he keeps trying to do the same trick, and you're like, You retarded, mate. What's...
And you just thought at the time, didn't you? He's got something to hide. One post flagged by this unit, this Stasi unit, with urgency, included a photograph of a rejected Freedom of Information request about the location of asylum hotels and a reference to asylum seekers as undocumented fighting-age males. Those comments, we're just going to stick with this for now, I'll do the rest of the papers later, this is huge. Those comments were flagged by this government unit to try to stop us talking about it.
Guys, why can't we just address the elephant in the room and say that the government is acting against the people's interests, and it has been for some time? Why can't the MSM just admit that the government is not acting in the interests of the people? It seems blindingly obvious. No one wants this, but the government's doing it anyways, which means it's acting against the interests of the people. Why won't they just say it? I don't get it. Let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think.
This is a problem. The issue here is, how much did the minister know? One of the problems I have with our whole political system is we seem to have a civil service that is decoupled from the minister involved. So my first question would be, did the minister know this was going on? If he did know it's going on, he must have been in favour of it because he should have stopped it or not. If he didn't stop it, then he has to go. And only
Peter Kyle, the man that is saying, don't get a VPN, guys. If you get a VPN, then you're just like Jimmy Savile.
And for everybody who's out there thinking of using VPNs, let me just say to you directly, verifying your age keeps a child safe, keeps children safe in our country. So let's just not try and find a way round. Just prove your age, make the internet safer for children.
Oh, I wonder why he doesn't want you to get a VPN.
The reason I believe the minister should go is to send the idea to ministers that you are in charge of these departments, not the civil service. And if something's happening that you don't want to happen, it must stop. And if it doesn't stop, then the minister must change. So who was responsible? We have a situation now where people do very outlandish things with government resources and face no sanction. That's got to stop.
But I think there's a bigger problem than this.
Sanction. What does sanction mean? They should be arrested and they should be tried for some kind of crime. You can't hurt the country and just carry on in your job. I mean, these guys aren't even getting fired for making mistakes.
Only this week that the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, standing beside President Trump, boasting about freedom of speech in this country and how in favour of it he is. And ultimately, he is the captain of the ship. And this government is plainly not in favour of freedom of speech at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's
it's
things
pretty
that have been
obvious.
flagged here, right? So, I mean, this is ridiculous. So, one example of something that was flagged was apparently a video of a load of Pakistani men celebrating on a street. And maybe it might have been Eid, or it might have been something to do with cricket, or whatever. Anyway, the caption on the video was, "Looks like Islamabad, but it's Manchester." Okay, people might think that.
It's probably this one, guys. It's probably this one. I mean, what does it look like? It doesn't look like Manchester, does it? Oh wait, the police, the government doesn't want you to see that. It doesn't want you to see that. Barbara Streisand. Idiots.
That's in bad taste. People might think it's not something you'd flag to a secret agency.
Well, I mean, I think we have to think about what happened in Southport and the misinformation that happened around Southport online. But it does seem to me that...
You remember what Keir Starmer said about all you guys when you were angry at what happened in Southport? Remember this.
The disorder is intolerable. It is incapable of justification. It's clearly racist.
Yeah, he doesn't want you to see that either. Weird. Don't know why. It's like he's not a very nice person.
That it's somewhat over the top, and you cannot silence free speech. There are hateful things out there on the internet, and indeed, as we've seen with the Charity Commission recently, being said in places of worship, that strike me as much more damaging than that, and much more worthy of censure. So, I mean, I'd be interested to know when this unit started. Does it predate the government? We don't know how long it's been going on for. It's been going on for years.
It does. It was named something else previously, but it was something that was used heavily during COVID, apparently, to clamp down on people who were spreading so-called disinformation about lockdown.
Wow.
Two things.
So the people that were trying to, no offence, but the people that were trying to save other people by going, hey, this vaccine, you know, the one that was on, what's he called? That weird freak. He just got his show cancelled in America. I don't know. They all sound the same. Anyway, that Specky guy, the English, I think he's English, I'm not sure. His vaccine dance, that thing. Vaccine! Yeah, it's weird. Mass disinformation, like they just wanted everyone to take the vaccine. No matter what, you had to take that vaccine. God knows what was in it.
Today, firstly, the police... I sat on an assembly. We spent a lot of time speaking to police about two-tier policing. They absolutely hate the notion, and they push back really hard because from their point of view, they are treating people without fair or favour, and they're doing the same to everyone.
No, I'm sorry, but words and actions are different. They're very different. We've seen the evidence with our own lying eyes. That's why they want to ban X, because their narrative falls apart. As soon as they start saying bullshit like this, it immediately just falls apart because we can see the truth.
But unfortunately for the police, they're at the mercy of what's happening in other parts of the system, and it looks like they're doing it.
But this is the kind of thing. Like, it is, again, it's one of those things where conspiracy theories turn out to be true, isn't it? Where people say, you know, like, I feel like I'm being watched. I feel like I'm going to get a knock on the door from police if I just say what I feel about this migrant hotel down the road, or if I tweet something quite innocuous. You know, Paul at number 58 down the road, like, says what he really feels about the rate of demographic change in his area, but doesn't actually say a racist word. Still, bang, here you go. It turns out you are being monitored.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely fundamental, because democracy breaks down if you don't have freedom of speech.
And guys, we can't accept this. You can't allow, the government is not allowed this kind of power. This is ridiculous, especially this government. And because the Conservatives are doing it, and then Labour just rebranded it and kept doing it even worse, or even more, it just shows you that they're all part of the same system. It's just ramping up now because they need it. They need it to be ramped up because more and more people are waking up to the understanding that the country is at risk. And they really don't want you to understand that, especially not too quickly. It's all about managed decline.
and you become a dictatorship. And I take a completely different take from Southport. You know, Keir Starmer should be really concerned about this, because he was the one who said that people who were concerned about...
Right, I know this is... I won't keep going like this. I know you get freaked out when I stop it too often. But I just have to say again, you've got to consider the possibility that they want to do it. It's not that they're bumbling idiots.
Oh, look, I just happened to just betray the country. Immigration's going up. I don't know what to do. I can't stop it. Look.
More, let's just keep fucking bringing more. I don't know why it's happening, guys. Come on, fucking Oreo. No, guys, seriously, I don't know why it's happening. Come on, fucking... They're starting to notice, man. Fucking hell. It's ridiculous.
Pakistani rape gangs were being far right, and he's been proved.
I'm not sure he did actually say it.
Well, it was similar to that. It was, and he's been proved to be absolutely wrong. And it turns out that this government is in absolute dictatorship.
But this predates this government. This is going back to the Tories.
But it's using it now. And this cry that the Tories did it, it's not a defence.
I'm not saying it's right that it exists. I'm saying that
one of the things I want to say
they've got both around
is that this is another revelation in this is that the government has been leaning on social media companies to try to get content that they say can exacerbate tensions taken down. Well, that's interesting. I messaged earlier. I put out a tweet earlier on.
I'm just wondering, guys. I'm just wondering, is that why my first channel just got nuked from orbit? Just wondering. Is that why I had to move?
That I don't think the government has been doing that much to put pressure on social media companies to take down human traffickers' accounts, of which there are dozens, and I use to go and try and find them. And then one of my followers is very kindly, in the time it's taken me to tweet that and then come back on air, found 10 human traffickers' accounts on TikTok and put them under my post.
But again, stop being shocked at the results if the results are what they want. Do you understand? It is shocking. The betrayal is there. It's ruthlessly bad. But there's no need to be surprised by it anymore if you expect them to be doing it. If everything again, this is the third time I'm going to say this in a different way, so make sure you understand. If they are doing the things that are hurting the country, and they keep doing them constantly, even though they're saying something else, then you've got to believe that they want the results of doing that action.
Why isn't the government focusing on that? Why are they focusing about me using a phrase like fighting age males?
Well, I mean, look, clearly there is racism online, and racist content, Islamophobic and anti-Semitic content should be called out. However, I rather agree with you, Patrick, that somebody reposting a rejected freedom of information request and using
this racism thing, right? It's so ridiculous. It's like, okay, right, you can call me racist, right? That's your weapon of choice, but my defence is I don't want to disappear as a people, and I don't want my country destroyed. So my plot armour is a little bit thicker than the weapon that you're throwing at me, okay? Your racism is not going to penetrate very deep into existential threat.
The phrase undocumented fighting age males doesn't seem to me a cause for the government, whereas actually the government would be better going after human traffickers.
More importantly, the government should be spending its time going after those trafficking gangs, because it was Keir Starmer who said smash the gangs. And I pointed out then, and I'll do it again, unless you have a relationship with the country of origin of this gang, you stand no chance of doing it. And at least these sites will help him find out where they actually are.
This is a very, very, very concerning story on the front of the Daily Telegraph. It should worry everyone. Seriously, I'm not saying this to try and be sensational. This is a very, very big story. You know, if it basically comes down to secretive government departments designed to not just monitor what you say online, but also take it off there. And it comes after the Online Safety Act that's just come out this week, which is pretty squiffy as well. I think that we are. I hate to say this, I do really think we are living through some incredibly dangerous and very weird times. And there's going to have to be a huge pushback on this. There's going to have to be a huge pushback on this if we're going to get out of this, I think. But look, we're going to...
No, he's not going to go there. He's almost went there. He's so close to actually saying what everyone else can see. What the elephant in the room, right? That the government is doing this on purpose, and that they are no longer acting in the interest of the people. Now, I don't know if that's true, guys, but holy shit, that elephant is massive. Seen the size of it? That is the biggest fucking elephant I've ever seen. See you later, guys.